Hello and welcome. Here we are on another episode of Solve for Tomorrow, a show where the next generation paves the way for social change. I'm Kunal Kapoor.
And I'm Shilpa Ratnam. And before we begin, there's a very important question that I want to ask Kunal. Kunal, what were you doing when you were 16?
जब मैं 16 साल का था, मैं I don't know, maybe I was in college obviously. मैं अपने future के बारे में सोच रहा था. I was preparing for exams.
Oh my God, you were so good and these kids are so brilliant. Together, you're going to give me a huge complex.
Well, that is very depressing, but we should be happy that our future is in safe hands, right?
That's so true, Kunal. Solve for Tomorrow is one such exciting journey where fresh ideas of our youth are meeting the wise counseling of Samsung and IIT Delhi experts.
And now we get to know them better as they gear up for the last stage, where the top 3 teams will get an incubation support worth 1 crore.
Okay, Kunal, you won't believe how old our next innovator is. He's only 16 and he's a passionate developer and coder from the state of Telangana. He's developed a product which is very inspiring smart tech for a segment that's often forgotten. Let's take a look.
I really enjoy web surfing, like getting to know about the latest information in our world. Alzheimer's or dementia in general affect more than 65 million people in the world who are mainly elderly. So unfortunately, my grandmother was also one amongst many. And I was brainstorming a lot about, how I would come up with this device. And I was actually playing a video game back then, and that game had like a tracker, which the player usually has, which points to another person. So that's where the idea came in, and I wanted to build something similar, which would help Alzheimer's patients specifically. My solution is basically a simple wristband, which the Alzheimer's patient wears. It monitors all their body conditions, like their body movements, their pulse rate, and body temperature. So as soon as the patient, gets up and starts wandering, an alert is automatically sent to the caregiver. One such thing which I came up with is called the daily reports function, where all the health data of the Alzheimer's patient is automatically sent to the caregiver.
हेमिश उनको दादी को बहुत प्यार करता है और सब प्रोजेक्ट को उनको भी दिखाते हैं और डिस्कस करता है उनसे.
Being affected by this disease, she didn't have any control over her body, and there were many cases where she used to wander at midnight or early morning. I wanted to build something that would serve both humanity and my passion.
Well, it's so fantastic to have Himesh with us today. Hello, Himesh.
Hi, Mom.
Your idea comes from a very personal experience. Do tell us about it.
So, my project Alpha Monitor, the biggest inspiration I got for, when I wanted to create this device was actually, seeing my grandmother suffer from the Alzheimer's disease, which actually gave me the spark to, create something that would help Alzheimer's patients, specifically my grandmother, as well as, everyone suffering from Alzheimer's worldwide.
And tell us about the name Alpha Monitor. How did that come about?
Inspiration is just AL, which is Alzheimer's, and Alpha Monitor. So they just seem to match, and I just picked that.
So Himesh, could you show us how this device works?
Right now, since this is a prototype, it's actually very big in size, and currently it can be worn in the form of an armband, which the patient wears. So once I just turn this on, it shows all the data in the mobile app which I made. So if the patient is sleeping, or if he's walking away, or if he's wandering, his body conditions, his body temperature, his pulse rate, everything will be sent into the mobile app which the caregiver has. And also there's this feature called the daily reports, which automatically send the his health conditions every day to the doctor. So he can look at how his patient is doing, and if he needs help with his body conditions or anything like that. So that's the big functionality of this device. And apart from that, there's also an external device which plugs into an external connection basically. And if the patient got up and starts wandering, an alert will automatically be sent that the patient is wandering.
So this is customizable case to case as well?
Yes, definitely.
I don't know if you know this, but he's also won a Prime Minister's Award.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah.
What was this award for?
So it's basically the Pradhan Mantri Rashtriya Bal Shakti Puraskar, and I think it's the highest civilian honor for children under 18, and like I got a chance to talk to the Prime Minister virtually.
And it was because of this innovation?
Yeah, like not specifically for this, because like they look at your profile as like an innovator or like whatever you did. So I kept in all the projects I've received, like built, and the awards I've received, and that's when they selected me.
Well, I heard you're always tinkering with something or the other. So what are the other apps or devices that you've created so far?
Yeah, so apart from this wristband, as we've talked earlier, I built the fan which turns on if the room is hot. I also built like a seat belt, a seat belt system with for cars basically. So if the person doesn't wear a seat belt, the car won't start. So that's something basic, but that's something which I've built. I also built an accident alert system. If the driver, is a part of an accident, an alert will automatically be sent to the, ambulance or the people they know. So those were some basic hardware projects I've built. And I'm also running an AI app right now, which uses artificial intelligence. It's called CreatoWise.
So why do you think that Solve for Tomorrow is the right fit for what you're doing?
Yeah, I think Solve for Tomorrow is literally perfect for innovation and bringing change in the society. And it's a personal fit for me, completely, because I got a chance to talk to everyone, right? Who's the smartest students in India, who are building great projects with electronics, coding. And most importantly, I think they're solving problems for the people around them. That just gives me a motivation to, do something better for people around me as well as, the country as a whole.
On that note, let's take a look at your Samsung day in Bengaluru.
I'm Hamish Chadlawada from Team Alpha Monitor from Telangana. The 2 days experience here in Bangalore, where I got to visit the SRIB center here in Bangalore and the Samsung Opera House, have just been awesome. The people we've met, the mentorship we got, and the places we visited were just top notch. The first day we visited the SRIB center here in Bangalore, and we were treated like celebrities, honestly. Everyone were nice to us, and we got the chance to talk to a lot of amazing people. And then we honestly had a lot of fun playing darts, foosball, and even playing cricket on the bowling machines they have there. And I had a lot of fun there. And after that, I think we went to the music room, where we got a chance to talk to the MD of SRIB, and also heard some awesome music there by the employees. The biggest thing which I felt, the feedback I got for my project specifically, is that I have to, improve my product and understand the needs of the target customers which I'm aiming at. So for me, specifically, I already have a prototype built. So they advised me to, try to minimize the size of the prototype and to customize it based on the patient's need or the customer's needs.
I think that he's one of the youngest people who we have gotten selected through SFT. He had his own grandmother, going through that phase, and he decided to take an action about it, which was really moving. And also the way that he was solving the situation, he sort of knew the exact problems. That, okay, the Alzheimer patient faces these problems and these are the family needs that might come out of the solution, and he did exactly that.
I think what sets apart Alpha Monitor is the innovator's drive of how he actually came up with a solution for his own grandmother and tried to drive it through. And today he's created an invention that actually helps not just his grandmother, but other people suffering from the same disorder.
These 2-day experience almost feel like a picnic to me. It doesn't feel like I'm part of the competitions, and Solve for Tomorrow is one of the best competitions and I've ever been to, and it doesn't feel like a competition. It just feels like a bonding of the smartest and most innovative students we have here in India. Solve for Tomorrow.
So what was your key takeaway from this visit? As an individual, and also for the idea that you're building?
Personally, for my project, I think the biggest thing I've taken away was how I can build an effective business model for my project, and how I can understand the needs of my consumer and how I can build a better product.
Yeah, and that's really important, because you might have a great product, but if you don't know how to run the business or how to take it to a consumer, then there's no use to it, right? So I'm glad you're thinking about those things though.
Well, I know you're all being monitored and mentored at every stage, and it all started at the IIT boot camp in Delhi. So talk me through that experience so far.
The biggest thing which I've learned from was, how others are, coming up with innovations and what problems they've solved for. So that gives me the biggest motivation to do what I do, basically.
But tell me the truth, is there anybody you've met who's smarter than you?
Yeah, definitely. I'm not the smartest guy in the room right now too.
How close do you think that you are to winning this?
I obviously have to prepare well for the pitch, and hopefully I'll come up with like a few other like changes which I want to make to the product to make it way better, and that would appeal to my consumers. So I think that's the number one thing which matters, right? You have to pitch it in a way that it feels useful to the consumer.
We wish you all the very best for it.
Thank you so much.
And I do hope to see you in the top 3.
Hopefully.
And it's so cool that it's customizable, so do keep at it. I'm sure you're going to emerge a winner. And on that note, we're going to take a very short break. But don't go anywhere. We'll be back on the other side with another young, energetic team that's raring to bring about a change. Keep watching Solve for Tomorrow, a CSR initiative by Samsung. Welcome back to Solve for Tomorrow. You are watching Innovative Young Minds take charge to change the narrative and lead social change.
Well, that's so true, Shilpa. This is a space for solvers, and with their presence of mind and creative thinking, the real-world problems they take on don't stand a chance.
Well, absolutely. As we make our way to the finale, we have 10 teams in the fray, and each of them has thought outside the box. Kunal, how important has it been for you in your journey as an entrepreneur to think creatively?
Well, you know, it's very strange that people don't associate creativity with entrepreneurship. And I think it's very, very important to be creative, to be able to tell a great story, to disrupt something that has existed for years. The only way you can really disrupt something is by being creative. So I think creativity and thinking out of the box is very, very important when it comes to entrepreneurship.
I think disrupt really is the key word, and that's the right approach, Kunal. And another team which took this fresh take on such a situation is JNB Man from Faridabad. Let's take a look at their story.
वॉलीबॉल में इंटरेस्ट है, नॉवल बहुत पढ़ता हूँ।
मैं एक कंप्यूटर एक्सपर्ट हूँ, मुझे कंप्यूटर की ज़्यादा नॉलेज है।
और हम व्हील चेयर कन्वर्टेबल क्रचेस इस प्रोजेक्ट पर काम कर रहे हैं।
क्या हम तीनों अच्छे दोस्त हैं?
मेरे फादर खुद हैंडीकैप्ड हैं।
जतिन नाम का दोस्त है, उसको चलने फिरने में दिक्कत आती है, एक्सप्रेशन करने में दिक्कत आती है। इसको देखते हुए हमारे दिमाग में यह आइडिया आया।
मैंने कुछ अपने आइडियाज़ दिए, उन्होंने दिए, तो हमने इसको पूरे को कंबाइन करके अपना एक आइडिया बना। प्रोजेक्ट के दौरान हमें 2 सबसे बड़ी दिक्कत आई, एक फाइनेंशियल और एक कम्युनिकेशन।
क्योंकि हमारे स्कूल में फ़ोन अलाउड नहीं है, तो उन्होंने फ़ोन भी अलाउड कराए हमारे लिए।
अगर हमें इंटरनेट एक्सेस चाहिए था तो उन्होंने हमें इंटरनेट एक्सेस दिलाया।
हमने आपस में पीपीटी के द्वारा ही एक एनिमेटेड वीडियो में अपना एक्सप्रेशन सिस्टम ऐड किया।
मैंने जब ये बात अपने पेरेंट्स को बताई, वो बहुत खुश हुए।
उन्होंने हमें बहुत ज़्यादा एनकरेज किया, हम तीनों को ही।
मार्केट में प्रेजेंट ऑटोमेटिक व्हील चेयर से हमारी जो व्हील चेयर होगी उसकी कॉस्ट कम ही होगी। हमने ऐसे डिज़ाइन किया है।
हमने जो प्रयास असफलताओं और कई समस्याओं के साथ शुरू किया, वही प्रयास हमें अभी छोटी उम्र से हमारा साथ देगा और हम आगे प्रयास करते रहेंगे और आगे बढ़ते रहेंगे।
Please welcome to the stage Akshay, Tarun and Ajay with their message of self-reliance for all. Hey, क्या हाल है?
Hi guys. Hi, I'm Shilpa.
कैसे हो भैया?
Hi Tarun.
Tarun. Well, welcome Tarun, Akshay, Ajay to the show. आप तीनों दोस्त रह चुके हैं, तो कैसा रहा आपका एक्सपीरियंस साथ में काम करने का और ये आइडिया को डेवलप करने का?
सर, हम क्लासमेट्स स्कूल स्टूडेंट्स हैं, हम क्लासमेट्स भी हैं। हम पहले अच्छे दोस्त तो हैं ही, पर सॉल्व फॉर टुमारो के इस सफ़र में अलग अलग जगह पर जाकर कंपटीशन के लिए प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं, तो इस बीच हमारी दोस्ती और अंडरस्टैंडिंग और गहरी हो गई है।
तो इस प्रोडक्ट का इंस्पिरेशन क्या था, क्योंकि आपके प्रोडक्ट में मान भी आता है?
इंस्पिरेशन हमारा इसमें ये है कि हमारा एक दोस्त है जिसका आज से 2 साल पहले एक ट्रक के साथ एक्सीडेंट हुआ था। जब वो स्कूल आ रहा था वापस, कैसे करके वो एक्सक्रीशन करने में उसे दिक्कत आती थी और कैसे चल फिरने में उसे दूसरों पर निर्भर होना पड़ता था। उसको देखते हुए हमने आपस में सोचा और आगे अपना प्रोजेक्ट तैयार किया।
तो मैंने नोटिस किया है कि आपने अपने जो टीम का नाम है वो अपने स्कूल के नाम से रखा है, जो है जवाहर नवोदय विद्यालय, जो एक सैमसंग स्मार्ट स्कूल है। तो इस स्कूल से आपको किस तरह का सपोर्ट मिला, किस तरह का टेक्निकल सपोर्ट मिला और किस तरह का प्रोत्साहन मिला आपको?
हमारा स्कूल एक रेजिडेंशियल स्कूल है जिसमें 6 to 12 स्टैंडर्ड के बच्चे रहते हैं और वहाँ पे जैसे कि इलेक्ट्रिकल आइटम कुछ भी अलाउड नहीं है। पर जब से हमारे स्कूल में सैमसंग स्मार्ट स्कूल बना है तो बच्चों को एक एक्स्ट्रा फैसिलिटी प्रोवाइड होनी चालू हो गई हैं, जिसके थ्रू बच्चे आराम से अपने इंटरनेट से कोई भी नॉलेज या फिर कोई कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर कर सकते हैं और इससे हमें बहुत ही प्रोजेक्ट को बनाने में बहुत ही ज़्यादा मदद मिली।
Well, that's great. I'm sure you have a lot to share with them after your visit to the Samsung offices and R&D centers in Delhi and NCR. Let's see how that went.
I am Tarun and I am from team JNV FBD MAN. मेरा नाम अजय है, मैं JNV FBD MAN टीम से हूँ।
मेरा नाम अक्षय है, मैं अपनी टीम JNV फारिदाबाद मान से हूँ और हम हरियाली के प्रदेश हरियाणा से बिलोंग करते हैं। हमने दिल्ली NCR में सैमसंग की वर्ल्ड क्लास फैसिलिटी विज़िट करी। वहाँ हमने देखा कि कैसे बड़ी बड़ी बिल्डिंग्स हैं और वहाँ पे हमने सैमसंग के प्रोडक्ट देखे हैं तो वो प्रोडक्ट मैन्युफैक्चर कैसे होते हैं, उनको मार्केट में उतारा कैसे जाता है और वहाँ पे जो लोग होते हैं वो किस तरीके से काम करते हैं, उनका काम करने का तरीका क्या है, उनकी सुबह से शाम तक का रूटीन क्या है उनका, वहाँ पे वो किस तरीके से इन प्रोडक्ट्स को मैन्युफैक्चर करते हैं और कैसे उन्हें मार्केट में उतारते हैं।
हमारा एक्सपीरियंस बहुत अच्छा हुआ। हमें यहाँ जो सैमसंग का मोटिव है, तो सैमसंग कैसे काम करता है वो पता चला और उनके जो विजन्स है वो भी हमें पता चला।
जब मैं अपने मेंटर से मिला तो मेरे को बहुत ही ज़्यादा अच्छा लगा कि मेरे मेंटर्स इतने ज़्यादा क्लोज़ है मेरे साथ, मेरे को आगे बढ़ाना चाहते हैं। मतलब वो पहले से अच्छी जगह है और वो चाहते हैं कि ये हमसे भी और आगे बड़ी जगह जाए। तो ये मेरे को बहुत ही ज़्यादा अच्छा लगा कि मेंटर्स बहुत ज़्यादा सपोर्टिव है हमारे।
मैं अपने आप को बहुत लकी फील करता हूँ कि टॉप 50s के बाद हम टॉप 10 में सिलेक्ट हुए और हमें यहाँ पे R&D सेंटर विज़िट करने का मौका मिला। शायद ही मैं कभी यहाँ R&D सेंटर्स देख पाता और ये प्रोडक्ट मैन्युफैक्चरिंग और मार्केटिंग और यहाँ के इतने अच्छे अच्छे MDs से और वेल एक्सपीरियंस लोगों से बात हो पाती, शायद ही ऐसा हो पाता। थैंक यू सॉल्व फॉर टुमारो।
Solve for tomorrow is important for a country like India because India has its own unique challenges and we need a lot more young people with a strong problem-solving mindset to drive change.
The USP for JNV Faridabad MAAN is that they are like students of class 11th first, and they have come up with an idea which is very challenging, which I think the entire world is looking to solve, which is from a wheelchair to a crutch, because basically from one product they have to divide it into two and then again join it to one. So that's a bit of challenging part. I think their intent were good. They had a very good story behind their intent. Although since they are kids, they don't know that they're going to have a huge challenge in front of them. But then just because of their intent, I think they got selected.
तो काफ़ी इंटरेस्टिंग लग रहा है आपका विजिट। तो कैसा रहा टू बी ऑन द अदर साइड एट सैमसंग?
सर हम जब सैमसंग की फैसिलिटीज़ में गए तो जो वहाँ हमें MD से मिले तो उन्होंने बताया कि हम प्रोडक्ट तो मैन्युफैक्चर करते ही हैं, पर किसी भी प्रोडक्ट के मैन्युफैक्चर में मेन चीज़ ये होता है कि कस्टमर की सेटिस्फैक्शन, उसके नीड के हिसाब से उसको मैन्युफैक्चर करें।
आपके पूरे सैमसंग विजिट में क्या क्या लर्निंग्स मिली आपको?
किसी प्रोडक्ट के लिए कौन सी बेसिक नीड्स होती हैं कि वो मार्केट में अच्छे से ऊंचे छुए, मतलब कैसे पीपल्स के लिए हेल्पफुल हो, तो इसके लिए हमें मतलब की सेगमेंट्स क्या होनी चाहिए, की रिसोर्सेज क्या होनी चाहिए, इन सब की नॉलेज भी बहुत अच्छी लगी, अच्छे से मिली है।
मज़ा क्या आया?
सबसे मज़ा हमें इसलिए आया, IIT बूट कैंप में आया कि हम कंपटीशन के लिए गए थे, पर जो सैमसंग ने ऐसा एनवायरनमेंट क्रिएट किया कि हमें ऐसा फील नहीं होता कि हम किसी कंपटीशन में खड़े हैं।
और दूसरा जब हमने वहाँ देखा कि हम यहाँ पे और भी एक और बच्चे भी आए हुए थे कि उनके साथ घुल पाएंगे या फिर फ्रेंड्स वो बन पाएंगे, हमारे नहीं बन पाएंगे, और पर वहाँ जाके हमने देखा कि बच्चे तो पहले हमारे साथ दोस्ती करने के लिए तैयार हैं और हमने वहाँ कम से कम 40 से ज़्यादा नए दोस्त बनाए और उनके साथ बात करते हैं और अब भी हमारे साथ उनका ऐसा कनेक्शन बन चुका है जो कि लाइफ टाइम हमारे साथ रहेंगे वो।
अगर आप टॉप 3 में हो, एंड मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि आप रहोगे टॉप 3 विनर्स में, तो और वो 1 करोड़ ग्रांट मिलता है आपको, तो क्या प्लान है आपका वो 1 करोड़ इंक्यूबेशन ग्रांट के साथ?
पहली बात तो हमें ऐसा लगता है कि हम टॉप 3 में आ ही चुके हैं, अब हमसे ज़्यादा अच्छा तो कोई करेगा ही नहीं।
वाह।
और हम टॉप 3 में आकर अपने प्रोडक्ट को मैन्युफैक्चर करेंगे और सोसाइटी के लिए उसको लॉन्च करेंगे।
तो कंग्रेचुलेशंस, आप यहाँ तक पहुँचे, फिनाले तक, और हम आशा करते हैं कि आप बहुत आगे जाएंगे और बहुत कामयाब रहेंगे और टॉप 3 क्या आप नंबर 1 रहेंगे। हम यही आशा करते हैं।
Best of luck and thank you so much.
थैंक यू मैम।
And that's it for today. We will see you soon in the next episode with all these brilliant Gen Z trailblazers.
And if you are someone who is stressed out in life in any way like I am, this next episode could be just what you're looking for. So join us next time at Solve for Tomorrow right here.
Sputnik Brain is a brain modulation platform and a metaverse plugin designed to relieve the suffering of stress, giving quick stress alleviation and pleasure in a non-surgical, chemical-free and convenient technology.
हमारा बेसिकली ऐप क्या है कि इंस्टेड ऑफ पर्सन है जो कि स्पीच थेरेपिस्ट है, बस उसकी जगह आपको इंस्ट्रक्शन देने वाला मोबाइल इंटरफेस रहेगा एंड एवरीथिंग विल बी सेम।